We made it to our final stop here in Ecuador, and that's the city of Cuenca, loved by not only Ecuadorians, but lots of foreign expats who make this city their home.
Since our arrival in Ecuador, we've only been hearing good things about Cuenca. So we made Cuenca our last stop in the country to see why this city is loved among expats and locals.
First things first, we gotta check out a market.
Because that's how we like to start exploring a new place.
I didn't really expect it to be so big. Where did we start?
So we notice everywhere we've been in Ecuador, it's really easy to get fresh food, get fresh meats, fresh fruits. There's no excuse not to eat healthy here.
I can never get used to this. You have lots of fresh foods here, but also lots of meats. How you don't see them in like America or Europe, like whole cow legs or hearts and guts. So these are like chicken legs, I think, and I think it's a cow foot. Hoof?
It's guatita.
Meat and fish markets are always a little intense in different countries, but super fun to explore. All these different meats, hoofs, and feet, and hearts.
Do they make you hungry?
No. Let's go to the clothing.
All right.
Lots of clothing here, little trinkets, wood instruments, it's shoes, enough clothes. So far this market has lots of vegetables, meats, and clothes. I think there's also a food court. Definitely a local market, lots of local people. Interesting sprouts and legumes and vegetables and meats. We always like to start a new city by exploring the markets. We've done that now. We're very excited about the historical sites of Cuenca. And this is for all Ecuadorians and foreigners. So you see lots of indigenous women wearing their indigenous clothing, but Cuenca, the women of Cuenca are especially known for wearing very colorful skirts, like the one you see behind me. Bright velvet reds and blues and greens with like a nice golden embroidered thing on the bottom. It's really pretty. So now we're gonna go to another market, the flower market, because Ecuador is the third largest exporter of flowers in the entire world. We gotta check that out. It is also the third largest city in Ecuador and a UNESCO World Heritage Site. It once probably was inhabited by the Incas as a trade center. And then it was rebuilt by the Spanish, and that's where all the architecture comes from. So it's beautiful, and we're gonna explore the historic downtown right now. We also love a city that has nice squares. You can already see the domes of all the architecture here in Cuenca. I think we're gonna go that way to explore what that is. And look at some churches, cathedrals, and more markets.
And just like every other town here in Ecuador, they have their own sign. It smells really good here. It's because of those flowers.
We're here?
I'm not sure if we're at that market, but I see some flowers.
So we made it to the flower market. It's definitely not the largest flower market we've ever seen, but the fact that Ecuador is the third largest flower exporter is a pretty cool fact, especially roses as well. There's also a drink around here that nuns make from the flowers that I really want to try. So we have aguas de victimas, which is a drink made by dozens of herbs and flowers, made by the nuns in the monastery next to this flower market. It's a secret recipe, but they said it used to cure ailments like sleeplessness or anxiety. I don't know about that, but it smells extremely perfume-like. Ooh. It's definitely not like lemonade. They didn't put any sugar in it, but it tastes like a cup full of roses, really. It's really interesting. I never drank flower water before. My mouth is just tasting like roses. Yeah, it's a really interesting experience. You good?
Tastes soil.
Soil?
Yeah.
You didn't taste flowers?
I do taste the flowers, but also soil.
Do you like it?
Not really.
I do like it. I'll drink yours.
So that guy was selling Panama hats, and funny enough, they don't come from Panama, they come from here in Cuenca, and I'm gonna get one today.
Once again in the creepy cathedral stairwell. Oh, I think it's 700 something steps up to the top. So you can hopefully see Cuenca a little better. Well, this is such a beautiful cathedral, beautiful architecture, and it's kind of scattered throughout the Centro Historico. We made it to the top of the cathedral. This is actually the perfect spot to see Ecuador's landscape. It's extremely hilly. Mind you, Cuenca is still very high in elevation, but you see the beautiful red roofs of Cuenca. You see the hills in the back, more villages in the back. It's really beautiful. I'm glad the sun is shining so y'all can see it. We can definitely see why people like Cuenca. There's a lot of fun things to do here. Beautiful architecture, beautiful things to see.
And it's very peaceful.
It's very peaceful, yeah. It has a different vibe than the other cities in Ecuador. So far, we're liking it too. It's the first full day here. We're also gonna look for some food later. But I think Denny wants to buy a Panama hat, so we're gonna look for that as well. Because how awesome is it that it comes from Cuenca? It's made in Cuenca, not Panama.
And I need something to keep the sun off of my white head. So.
Yes. So we've made it to the Panama Hat store. They're actually giving a tour and they show you how to make their hats. And it's very interesting to see how they make it. The hats are made from a plant native to Ecuador. They then air dry it out of the sun and then it becomes this dry straw-like material. This man behind is now molding the shape of the Panama hat. But it's made of straw and it's all made by manual labor and they weave the pattern in the hat. And behind me you see all the different hat patterns.
How did it become known as the Panama hat? Well, during the construction of the Panama Canal, people wanted these Ecuadorian hats because they were so light and they kept the sun away. And so therefore, over time, people started confusing them with the Panama hat.
Now we're in a room full of Panama hats. They're actually really expensive. It's about $40 to $60 per hat, but they do look really nice, right?
Yeah, I mean, they can get really expensive. The one he has in his hand is like $250.
Yeah.
So
I don't think we're gonna buy hats.
No.
We're on a budget. It also feels so light, like it's lighter than paper.
So what if I like it, then we're gonna have to buy it?
I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think it fits my head. My head's too big. $300.
$300.
What's the price, guys? Tell me.
It is. There's no price on it.
Oh, that's scary. That's scary.
All right, so that was really fun to see. You could do like a self-guided tour here at the factory. You learn a lot about the hats. I get why they're so expensive because you see the pattern on the hat and on the brim, but $300 for a hat, babe? I don't think we're gonna pay that.
Yeah, they did have cheaper ones, but of course you only like the really luxury ones.
So now we're gonna explore Cuenca the way we like best, by food. So we're gonna get a cab back to the historical center. That was quick.
Yeah.
found this restaurant where they have pictures of all of their food with the prices. You can pick one out, order here, and have a seat.
Such a unique store. We got ties on the wall, random books.
It's very fun decorated, that's for sure.
I think that's like Miss Ecuador or Miss Universes.
So we really like Ecuadorian food. It's just simple. They usually have like plate lunches with rice, some type of meat, lentils or beans or fries, and that's basically it. I mean, they have more complicated meals, but overall, we notice that the lunches are pretty basic, but really like it, and it's cheap too. Nah, that doesn't look good. It's simple, you get a lot, and they make it fresh. So we're not gonna eat, call it a day. The next day we left our apartment on the way to the airport in Guayaquil. After another bus ride and navigating the bus station, we find a taxi to take us directly to the airport.
Got everything right?
Yeah.
Yay! On to
Colombia, the country where salsa dancing was born. It's next to Ecuador and we have never been there. So after all that traveling, we're now in the lounge and we have good foods. We have rice and chicken, yuca bread and vegetables, a guava juice, and a potato soup. It's really good. So we have been in this lounge for the past 2 hours, eating a lot and editing a little and just chilling.
And now we're on our way to Bogota.
Colombia. Yes, we are going to explore Colombia for the next 3 weeks. We're really excited. We think it's going to be completely different than Ecuador, even though they're next to each other.
Yeah, we don't even really know what we're gonna do yet. This
Not
is kind of
really.
a last minute thing.
We got to Ecuador, and the plan was to go to Peru by bus. But then when we got there, they told us that the land borders are closed. So we had 4 days in Cuenca, and in those 4 days, we had so many itineraries planned.
Yeah.
But it was Colombia, and then somewhere tropical after that.
So stay tuned.
We're tired, so we're gonna stop vlogging. See you in Colombia.
We made it to our last stop here in Ecuador, the great city of... I don't know what I was trying to do. But...
Yeah,
Okay.
we'll do that.
All right.
Yeah.